Howdy friends, Guthrie Trapp here, coming to you from East Nashville, Tennessee. Once again, going to do a little lesson for you. Thanks so much, man, to everybody that's been following me on here on the YouTube, been trying to be more proactive on that and doing some consistent content. Still doing private lessons, Skype lessons, sessions, touring with John Oates and a bunch of different songwriters that I love working with in Nashville, Sean Camp, Jimmy Stewart, among many others, and just you know, keeping it real here in Tennessee, folks. Just man, it's been a hell of a life, and I'm lucky to be able to share this gift that we all call music, and you know, just really grateful. The older I get, the more grateful I am that I can do this, and YouTube has been a great platform to be able to share some stuff that I've learned over the years. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to do that, and again, for all the positive comments and everything. Check out the links below, I gotta say that. And if you want to book a lesson, let me know. We'll do something. But on this one, I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to do a little rhythm stuff, maybe some country rhythm and stuff. So, and incorporating some hybrid picking. This is something that I get asked about pretty frequently, and it's kind of cool. I look at country music as being, all these styles to me are related. You know, rock and roll, blues, country, all the American roots music that we love. To me, it's all kind of related, and it all comes down to, you know, people ask a lot, well, hey, what do I play over the 4-chord? What do I play on this? What do I play on that? And I feel like a lot of people want a hard, fast rule that they can wrap their mind around, but the trick is everything really comes down to the song or the tonal backdrop and the rhythmic backdrop that you're presented with when you're playing music. So if somebody starts a song and they're going, you know, like, I can tell that's major. We're in A major, but it's also got a little bit of a funky thing going on to it too. So, you know, your note choice, immediately I go, well, I can play major stuff, but I can also slip in a little bit of the blues notes too, which comes from combining the pentatonic, major pentatonic and minor pentatonic together with the major third, and outlining these chord shapes I've been talking about. So there's a lot of stuff I want to get into, man, about playing music and the more interpersonal and like big picture stuff about, you know, these fundamentals that we teach. They're just the alphabet and the vocabulary to be able to ultimately express ourselves musically. So not to ramble on a whole lot about that, but we'll get into some of that, which I love talking about, because at the end of the day, that's kind of the point that we're all striving for, is to be able to do something that moves us emotionally. I want to make myself feel good when I pick this thing up, and hopefully that translates to whoever else is listening to it. So, you know, so that's kind of where I'm coming from with that. So with this stuff here, like I did just there, you know, you can do this kind of style with a flat pick where you're playing, excuse me, good Lord. You can do this kind of flat pick thing where you're doing like this, like the kind of rock and roll rhythm pattern, right? We all know that, and if you don't, that's just A. I'm muting a little bit with my palm, and I'm hitting the A, the D, and the G string, and really more just the A and the D string, and I'm alternating. Hitting the E here, and then my F sharp, which is the 6. So that gives us this sound. You can add the flat 7. Right? That's your basic kind of rock and roll rhythm. If you're up here and you feel like you are able to bar this big chord here, you can play it like this. D, E, back to A. Sometimes when I'm doing that, I feel that it's easier for me to do it with my middle finger than it is with my ring finger. So that being said, so getting back to this A thing, if I do that, I'm not really hitting that G string like I said I was. I'm barring it, but I'm really focused on with the flat pick, I can only really hit that, the A and the D string, which is fine. But if I want to get kind of funky and add some different notes and stuff like that, I'm going to introduce the hybrid style, where I'm going to use my pick to hit the bass string, and then I'm going to use my middle and ring fingers to pluck the D and the G string and get that big A bar chord. That sound, right? So, and when I pluck it, it gives it the country kind of attack and feel kind of right away. And also having a Telecaster with the back pickup, that is that sound. So if you're doing it on a Gretsch on the front pickup, it's not going to sound the same, or a 335 on the front pickup. A 335 can get close, some P90s and stuff can get really close to that sound, but there's nothing like a Telecaster on the back pickup. I turn my tone and volume all the way up. You know, the farther back you get on the bridge, and I'm just throwing a lot of stuff into the gumbo here to you know, I'm just kind of stream of consciousness. If I don't think of something, I'll forget it. So with the country thing, the farther back you get to the bridge, the string tension gets tighter. So if I'm playing up here, it doesn't have the same effect as if I'm back here. Like if I did this, right, it sounds kind of flabby and stuff up there, which that has its place too. Up in here, front pickup, I'm all about up here, right? So, but back here on the back pickup, if I do this, I'm really getting some funky, like bright, kind of tight sound back here by the bridge. So the farther you get back by the bridge, it gets pretty cool. I mean, for the country stuff, it's awesome. So that being said, getting back to our rhythm, so I'm plucking this, and I'm giving it a good hard spank there, you know what I mean? And so I've got a pretty good amount of nail. This is something that I get asked about a lot too. I don't use fake nails. Maybe I should, but I just haven't gone there yet. You know, I haven't done it. It feels kind of unnatural that you know, I might not feel that, you know, having that separation between my actual nail and something fake. I haven't done it. But so with this, I use my real fingernails, and I like to have about just a little bit of the nail above where the flesh is. So it's almost equal, but you don't want all nail. You want a little bit of flesh, and then the nail kind of comes in after it and supports it and reinforces it and gives you a little bit of that attack. But I'm always having to file these down, because if you get a little bit of a burr on there, it'll rip your whole fingernail off. And it will. I mean, these will break, and then I'll let them grow back out, and it kind of sucks. But it's just something that you got to deal with if you're going to do a lot of hybrid picking. So again, here we're going to pick this. So if I do this, if I take this approach and I work it out into the country thing, right, which is a nice percussive, rhythmic, funky kind of thing, right? So I'm also adding a couple other notes, but the best way to get familiar with this style is to just start doing it. Just start plucking with those fingers, and you'll get better at it the more you do it. And there's no real secret. It's just I'm using my pick, and then I'm plucking with my fingers. And I'm not sure if there's really any exercises. This would be a great exercise to just start incorporating it into your playing. So with that being said, I mean, this is like, and if you wanted to do like some introductory to chicken picking exercises, one really good one is doing like this kind of thing. Right, where you're playing over A, but you're using the shape, this shape, your C shape, and you're just taking the B and the D, and then here, back up whole step to the G shape, your D shape together here, and then I call this either your C shape or your A7 shape. So what I'm going to do, instead of going right, I'm going to go. So that is a good little exercise just to take that. And I'm plucking that B, and I'm sliding in a little bit. So if you're just going to start with that first finger, that middle finger, that's a good exercise to do. And so getting back to our rhythm, I'm doing a little, you noticed I was doing a little, and then coming back in, you know, in the middle of that riff, I'm going low E, G, little bend, right back to my rhythm part. So that whole thing. And I'm throwing those little things in. This is like, so what's going to happen here is, and I'm going to explain this the best I can. I'm going to bar this, but I'm also thinking about, right, I've got all those notes from my minor pentatonic out of my G shape. I've got all that at my disposal. Now if I bar just that G and D string, I get all this stuff. And you add a little rhythm to that. Stuff there. I mean, it's not perfect, but for the sake of not starting this video all over again, I'm just going to rock on. But those like little things like that where I'm going, so that's like, I'm thinking D7 shape there. So that's my minor pentatonic shape, and then I'm adding that 6, which gives me that. When I say D7, I'm thinking my D7 chord, those two notes. In A, there would be A7, and then it just adds a cool approach to that. So that being said, if I slide up to here, now I'm using my A, I'm pedaling off that A the whole time, because otherwise you just get, you gotta have that A going. Is really great because you can, if you have that tone in your head, you can do all kinds of improvising around there and find really cool stuff because you're never leaving that tonal center. That A is kind of droning the whole time. Danny Gatton used to do that on some of his stuff. He'd drone that E string and just do all kinds of stuff around it to where you're hearing that tone, and it's a good way to practice. And then so sliding up to this. That's A7, so I'm thinking this A7 chord, I'm thinking my major third, my flat 7, but I'm just taking those two notes. When I do that, I'm adding the 4 to it, so it's A, G, and D. So just those two strings, D and G, with the low A in there. Resolving, that gives you a cool kind of a sus sound. You could even add this. That's where that's coming from. You can always add G, D, and A. All those things are related and they're really cool. So again, it's doing all this stuff together, you learn one lick, then you learn another one, and eventually you have a pile of licks and ideas that you can steal from that help develop your vocabulary on the guitar. So I'm not getting into the technical aspect of this as much. We could always get into that more in depth, but that's kind of the idea. I'm using this as my bass, and then I'm adding to it. I'm pinching the A and these strings together. There's not a whole lot of independence going on there because I'm not a great finger picker, so I can't do, like, my thumb is not doing one thing and my fingers are doing another. I'm doing it all together, which is not as hard as doing like a Chet Atkins, like alternating bass thing where every finger's doing a different rhythm and just crazy. So with this, it's a little more pinching together, so it's like. When I do that, I love superimposing other chords over others. So if here's A, I'm adding that cool open D kind of thing. So there's my D shape. A lot of you have played this chord. That C-shaped D chord with an open G and a high E string. Pretty cool. So when I add that to A, I get my flat 7 of A that keeps it bluesy, and then I've got this kind of thing that's ringing over. That also works for A7. So that's a great trick there. A7 to the open D shape, and then your C shape or A7 shape. The G string is ringing. So that kind of thing. Thank you so much, and I know I'm jumping around all over the place, but it's just fun to do this stuff. Thanks again, and we'll see you soon. Ciao for now.